I'm going to talk about a project, A Midsummer Night Dream, brought to you by a group, Pixie Dust Productions, by me, Sasipapa Jongchansito, and Agni Kuragyan. Let's buckle your seatbelt and enjoy the ride at our very own Disney show. First of all, I'm going to talk about our overall concept. Our overall concept would be set at Disneyland following their motto, the happiness place on earth. Since Disneyland is magical, we would incorporate all the Disney characters that everyone loves and grew up watching. A concept will also have evil character just like at Disney movies and will include humor and bring much happiness to the audience. The main themes of this play are love and dreams, which is what Disneyland and its motto represent. Although there are going to be many twists and turns like the roller coaster at Disneyland, True loves will be seen in this production, along with fairies, love portions, real birds, and the breathtaking set. There will be many props to accompany the characters and bring a beautiful color of lighting and fogs to capture the real feelings you get while visiting Disneyland. The state will include some of the best rides and qualities of Disneyland, such as the castle, the Haunted Mansion ride, the Jungle Cruise ride. With our concept, the audience will be sitting on the ride and fastening their seatbelt for the amazing show filled with multiple exciting surprises and fun they will experience in the world of Disneyland present to them on stage. For the next slide, the time period. Our production will take place in 2019 in the real world with multiple fantasies such as characters added to make it a magical play. It will be model day Disneyland except with flying characters, bigger rides, and a lot more romance. There will be portions along with Disney characters dressed as a cast who will make the audience happy and intriguing. It will be a lot like the Disney cartoon Mickey Mouse, where love will be revamped and audience will go on an adventure alongside the performer to uncover who the true loves are. For the next slide, the tone of the production. The tone of our production would be cheerful and humorous because at Disneyland, everyone is constantly smiling and having the time of their lives. A lot of humor will also be incorporated throughout the scene to make the audience laugh and enjoy the show a lot more, as if they were really at Disneyland. The Disney characters would be very silly and will add comedy to their performance to give the audience a more lighter performance, taking them on a mystical adventure when they will encounter loves, fairies, and the magical flower that will provide love juice to change who the lover will fall in love with. To top it all off, as if Bottom's silly mistake and comical acting isn't enough, his head will be transformed into that of an ass, which will have the audience laughing away. The next slide is about the central image. A central image would be the Jungle Cruise ride at Disneyland, since it is a life full of nature and adventure that will be intriguing in the play. This life would be the forest that take place beyond the city wall of otters. It is a magical ride that includes a lot of trees, animals, waterfalls, and etc. Our next slide would be the main themes. The main themes are loves and one dreams, which everyone hopes to make into a reality. Love is one of the most prominent themes in the story because it's it what matters above all and will bring you happiness and unity. If you really love someone, you won't notice their faults and parents shouldn't matter, which is symbolized through the love juice and its power to make you fall in love with the first person you see. As Shakespeare says in the story, the course of love never did run smooth. When you love someone, you should be able to satisfy everything to be with that person. Another important theme in the story is dreams, which represent unreality or the distortion of time and consciousness. And as Dimitri said to Halisna, Hermes, and Lysandra, are you sure that we are awake? It seemed to me that yet we sleep, we dream. The difference between what is real and what is fantasy can sometimes be difficult to distinguish, so determines assure himself that they are awake and in the reality. The next slide is the color palette. Green will express the main colors of the forest and will be incorporated in costumes such as pugs who will be dressed as a Peter Pan. There will also be a lot of green lights beamed around the stage to create a forest environment. In a advertisement, green would be one of the main colors since most of the play take place in the magical jungle clues. Pink can be used to express happiness. It can be the color of the flowers in the park and incorporate throughout the characters' costumes, especially for magical pink dress some of the princess can wear. And the last one is red. Red can be used as the color of love, and a lot of characters at Disney are dressed in red around the park, like the iconic Mickey and Minnie Mouse. So incorporating red will give our production the final Disneyland themes feel. It would follow Disneyland motto, the happiness placed on earth. Since red is usually associated with love and joys.
Hi everyone, I'm Ani Kuragan and I will be continuing our presentation. So for the costume, we have Puck, who could be dressed as Peter Pan since he has similar qualities like their mischievous behavior. His costume would include the iconic Peter Pan pointy hat, the brown satchel, along with green tights and a green flowy shirt. He would be able to carry the love potion in his satchel and would carry around the sword to finish off his final look. His costume would be camouflaged with the forest and he would fit in perfectly into that environment. Helena would be Cinderella with a little twist because instead of her stepsisters disliking her, it would be Lysander and Demetrius who disliked her. She would be dressed in a distinctively long and gorgeous blue gown. She will be wearing brown rags and will be very messy looking until she changes into her gown once Lysander and Demetrius suddenly fall in love with her due to the love potion shenanigans. This will symbolize her dream of being a princess and having her love Lysander finally love her back. She would be wearing the well-known glass slippers along with the gorgeous white headband on her head. Hippolyta will be dressed as Pocahontas since she is the queen of Amazons and has similar qualities to Pocahontas' character. She would wear a large diamond crown, a yellow gown, and an iconic blue necklace with many feathers around her head and dress. There would be strands of string hanging from the middle of her gown with a thick belt wrapping around her waist. She would blend in well with her surroundings of the Amazon since she would have a Native American inspired costume just like Pocahontas. This can be seen in our slides for the costume ideas. Next is our prop list, which would include the golden purple flower from Tangled, and this would be perfect since it's from a Disney movie. This is the glowing flower in Tangled, which turned Rapunzel's mother from old back to young. But in our concept, the twist would be that it would be the love potion that allowed you to fall in love with the first person you see. We would incorporate this prop because it is essential to the plot of the story and would be a Disney related with a little difference. It would be just as beautiful as the one in Tangled and would be big and essential to the set design. The scroll would be a good prop to add to the production because Quince reads the names of the people who are good enough to perform in the play for the Duke and Duchess's wedding. This part of the play wouldn't be realistic without having an actual scroll because the names of the actors would have to be called off of it. The scroll would be inspired by a royal invitation and would be just like the invitation Cinderella receives to attend her ball, except it would be an invitation to perform at a wedding for the Duke and Duchess. Then there would be the ticket to enter the park, which would be to enter the Disneyland park. You would have the ticket, which would be a good way to bring the characters in on stage and introduce all of them. They could show their character to the employee before entering the stage onto their magical adventure on Disneyland. Next, we have the set design. The set design, our set would be divided into 3 parts to represent an actual part of the Disneyland park. In the center would be an enormous castle just like the one at the park. Theseus, Hippolyta, Oberon, Titiana, and all the good and powerful characters will stay in the castle. There are leaders throughout the play and therefore should be in a royal setting. On the right side of the stage would be the Haunted Mansion ride, which would be where the evil characters would be seen throughout the course of the production. The evil characters like Eugenius will be living in the haunted mansion because he is a cruel father who wants to give his daughter's hand in marriage to someone whom she doesn't even love. He threatens to execute her if she refuses the marriage proposal with Demetrius instead of her true love, Lysander. Lastly, we would have the forest on the left side of the stage, which would take up the majority of the stage and would be where all the characters would mostly be seen like the fairies and lovers. The backdrop in the back would have a roller coaster video constantly playing on repeat so that the audience would feel as though they are actually sitting on the roller coaster watching the show. It would also contribute to the idea of the play having its ups and downs just like a roller coaster does. Choosing this specific set design will always keep the audience on their toes, constantly finding new and unique details to admire on the stage. You could see the set design here, which would look just like the Disneyland. Next is the type of theater space. Our stage would be a proscenium stage since the stage is raised and will give the audience a clearer view of the entire thing. The performers would be able to move around the stage and would be able to be seen by everyone in the audience. With the wings on the side of the stage, the performers would easily be able to come in and out of the audience's view. We are also going to have a huge pieces to accompany the performance, and a proscenium stage allows the audience to see all the details of the scenery. We would have unique aspects of our concept. Our concept would have a small roller coaster that would actually move by the side of the stage, so it would feel like you're actually at the park. It would add to the theme park and would catch the eye of the audience, providing a unique feature to the set. We would also include live birds to the Jungle Cruise ride so that you would feel like you're on the actual ride in a real forest. Lastly will be our budget, which will be approximately $6.5 million. This will include the set designer, the choreographer, lighting designer, advertising via social media and posters, hair and makeup designer, props, author, director, filming, auditorium, accounting, lighting design, live band, and the producer. Thank you guys so much for taking the time and listening to our concept of Disneyland, the Midsummer Night's Dream.